you for joining us today for the University of Toronto Summer Abroad webinar presentation. My name is Adam, and I'm excited to talk to you today about Summer Abroad. As we get started, I just want to point out a couple of things. If you have any questions, the way to ask the questions is through our Q&A module. So where you have your floating panel of Zoom controls, you'll see something that says Q&A. So if you click on that, you can type in your question. It'll come to us in the back end, and then we'll either answer the question live or we may type it up in the Q&A module there as well. And as we begin this presentation, I do wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. Today, we are talking all things summer abroad. So excited to be speaking about the opportunity to go abroad again. And it's not just me who's here today. So as I said, my name is Adam. I'm one of the program coordinators in the Summer Abroad office. I'll be co-presenting this presentation along with my colleague, Jennifer. Jennifer, if you want to say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer. I'm also one of the program coordinators at the Summer Abroad office. I'll be joining again in the second half of the presentation.
Also joining us today will be Andrew. Andrew is a past participant in 2 Summer Abroad programs, and he'll be speaking to you about his experiences and sort of what he got out of participating in Summer Abroad. But first, let's look at overall what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be covering what is Summer Abroad, why you might want to participate in Summer Abroad. The exciting stuff is where you can go in the summer of 2022. We'll look at who does Summer Abroad, which includes your eligibility requirements, talking a bit more about how you would actually participate, including finances. And then finally, there's a little timeline to sort of give you an idea of when important deadlines are. Okay, so first off, what is Summer Abroad? At the University of Toronto, there are lots of opportunities to study in an international setting. Summer Abroad is just one of those many opportunities where you would go overseas and you would be doing an academic experience. With Summer Abroad, you are taking a U of T course in another destination, and it's a full year credit course, so 1.0 FCE, and you would be taking it in as little as 3 to 6 weeks. So it's really condensed, really unique, and you're also traveling with your instructor and other students from U of T. It is based out of the University of Toronto, so it's coordinated in Woodworth College in the Office of Professional and International Programs. Summer Abroad has been around for a long time. We got started in 1972. Our very first program was Siena. Next summer is actually the 50th anniversary of our program in Italy, which is very exciting for us. Most courses in Summer Abroad don't have any prerequisites, so it's an opportunity to take a course that is maybe outside of what you normally study at U of T, and it's something that you're really interested in, or maybe the destination is something place that you're really interested in going to. And last year, we did start offering virtual Summer Abroad courses, and that was because, well, we couldn't send students to any of our destinations, so we adapted and did virtual, and we got really good feedback about many of the courses. And so for this coming year, we are going to be offering some of our programs in a virtual format once again, and we're going to explore that a little bit today. So for 2022, we still are figuring out all the details. Right now, we have 3 programs that we're planning to be virtual: our South Africa program and 2 China programs. And then in terms of the rest of our programs, which are planning to be on site, we are still working out the final details, including dates and costs. We're continuing to monitor the Government of Canada's website around travel advisories, because we do need to follow what both the Government of Canada and the University of Toronto says we can do in terms of sending students overseas in the middle of this ongoing pandemic. While we will be talking about Summer Abroad, something important to know is that in mid-December is when our website will be entirely updated with all of our costs, the dates, everything that's on offer for the summer of 2022. So looking at what Summer Abroad is, something that is useful to do is compare the Summer Abroad program to the exchange program at U of T. It's very common to get these two mixed up. We will often meet with students who come in and say that they want to study in a specific destination. They think that they're talking about exchanges, and what we're offering is Summer Abroad. What the difference is that summer abroad program is basically we are taking a course that would happen or could happen on our campus, taught by our faculty, and we are moving it overseas. The content of the course will tie into the destination. So that's summer abroad. If you're doing an exchange program, you are working with a partner university of U of T, and you are going to go and be enrolled in classes at that university in that destination at that university, which means when you're done, you would have transfer credits that you come back with to U of T. Summer abroad is obviously shorter. As I've mentioned, it's anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks, or about 3 to 5 weeks we have here. An exchange program, you can do that for a full semester or even a full year. It's usually in the fall and winter, so it's not in the summertime. Our courses, as I said, you are with other U of T students, with faculty, versus on exchange, you would be taking classes with local university students. And then the courses mainly taught in English, depending on where you are studying for an exchange program. Some courses may be taught in the local language. Summer abroad courses are all taught in English, unless it is one of our language courses. And then I've mentioned how the destination ties into the course content, so it gives you a really robust experience. Versus an exchange program, you could be taking any courses, and they aren't necessarily tied into the destination. I'd like to show you some of the different types of courses that we offer. For example, we have language courses. So if you wanted to study French, Spanish, Portuguese, you could study those language courses in those destinations. So it gives you a really good chance to practice speaking the new language. We do have some science courses. We have 3 business courses for 2022. And then we have lots of humanities and social science courses. They're kind of spread across many different destinations. Also, we have some science abroad courses. And these are a little bit different because they're an opportunity to do research in a lab with researchers in a different destination that are connected to the University of Toronto research that's happening. What's great about summer abroad is you're taking a U of T course. It's showing up on your transcript just like any other course would, which means that you can use it to count towards your program or degree requirement. Taking it in the summer, it obviously won't conflict with the regular academic calendar. We handle all of the arrangements, so it's really easy for you to participate. We handle the accommodations. We suggest a flight. We prepare documents like on-site details about where you're going, safety guidelines. Our classes are also really small, so they'll be anywhere from 15 to 30 people. And this is a great chance for you to connect with the instructor, get to know the other students. You often will also meet students that you would not normally meet in your courses on campus here. So that's a really neat opportunity. And then it's really, I'd say probably one of the best things is the field trips. Depending on what course it is you're studying, the instructor will have decided on some field trips where you will go out and see firsthand things you've talked about in the course. For example, medieval architecture course in England, you will talk about some famous sites around England, and then you will take field trips and go and visit them firsthand, so you have a better understanding of what's being taught in the course. As I mentioned, it does fulfill program distribution requirements. Some of the benefits of participating are on-site program. As I said, the location becomes your living textbook. You will not just be learning during class time, but you'll also be learning on the field trips. On your free time, when you're going around and exploring and having a better idea of the city and the country that you're in, understanding the culture, economics, the society of the destination. And this really allows you to become a better global citizen, have a better understanding of how things are different in different places. Summer abroad is also a great chance for you to boost your self-confidence and independence. This is often the first time that many students will travel is through a summer abroad program. Although we arrange a lot of the logistics of it, you still have a lot of freedom to explore on your own and have an opportunity to develop your independence, like figuring out how to navigate around a new city, budgeting, so many benefits that are beyond just the academic side of the participation. And then, of course, you can create lifelong friendships. Maybe you'll even meet a future husband or wife on the program. It has happened in the past. In terms of the virtual programs that we're offering, what's great about the virtual programs is that they still are tying into the destination. When we talk about the virtual South Africa program, you would still have connections to Cape Town. Jennifer is going to explore South Africa program a little bit with you later on. And the benefit as well of doing the virtual programs is that it's a fraction of the cost to participate, because you're obviously not paying for the travel, for the flight, for your accommodations. And then you can also just take this course from the comfort of your own home, and you'll still be connecting with guest speakers. Obviously, you can't go on field trips exactly, but there are virtual elements that the instructors tie in to really enhance the experience as well. This is a map that shows some of our destinations for 2022. If you're taking it virtually, you'll be taking it on your own laptop somewhere. In terms of the types of places that will be your classroom in a summer abroad, you could be studying directly in a classroom at another university that we hire space from, but also it's going to be in the museums, the galleries, field trips that you go on. For our Ecuador program, you spend time living in the Amazon rainforest, doing your own research there. You might be doing an archaeological dig if you participate in the Georgia program. Maybe it's the research lab, or it can even be a homestay. So if you are staying with a local family, it's an opportunity to further enhance your language skills and have a better understanding of the culture there as well. Looking at who does summer abroad. So as I said, our courses are taught by U of T faculty. Typically, they have research interests or some tie to the destination in which they're going. For some of our programs, we do hire local faculty from an institution in that country to teach the course, but it still is a U of T course taught by a different instructor. And then you also will be learning from park guides, museum tour guides, anybody that was coming in to do a guest lecture. So it's not just your instructors that you'll be learning from. It's a very robust group of people. And then also lab supervisors for our Science Abroad program, of course. As mentioned, Summer Abroad is coordinated by the Professional in International Programs Office. We are based at Woodsworth College. If you're ever coming in to meet us, we're in this old house at part of Woodsworth College on St. George Street. We coordinate with our partners overseas to make sure that your accommodations are taken care of. We do the bookings for the field trips. We prepare the handbooks before you go as well. We arrange a pre-departure orientation session so you can meet other students, have some insights from your instructor to get ready before you actually travel to your destination. Our programs, we also have on-site coordinators. So there will be people on the ground there that will help you if anything goes wrong, if you need some support, if there's an emergency situation, then the on-site coordinators are there to help you. Unfortunately, those of us who work in the Summer Abroad office don't actually get to go overseas, but we hire staff who would be your main point of contact on the ground there. In order to participate in Summer Abroad, you do need to be a U of T student, or actually alumni can also apply, and you need a CGPA of 1.75 and be in good academic standing. If you are a first-year student and don't have a CGPA yet, that is totally fine. You are still eligible to apply. For lots of our programs as well, visiting students can also apply. So students from other North American universities can apply, and they would take our course as a transfer credit. So if you have friends who might be interested in going abroad with you who are studying somewhere else, you can connect with them and see if they might want to participate as well. However, I should note that we do give preference to University of Toronto undergrad students. At this point, I would like to invite Andrew to come on. So Andrew has participated in 2 of our programs. 2019, he went to Hong Kong and participated in that program. And then this past summer, he participated in one of our virtual programs. So he'll be able to speak a little bit about what both of them are like and give you some different insights. So with that, I'll invite Andrew to speak about his time.
Thank you, Adam. So hello, everyone. My name is Andrew, and I'm currently a 4th-year student at UTM, and I'm doing stats and math. I've previously participated in RSM 295 for International Management in Hong Kong in 2019, and SLC 393 Contemporary Chinese Society virtually the past summer. So when I was enrolling in RSM 295 in Hong Kong, things that I enjoyed the most will be its field trip. So we got a chance to visit Disneyland and to Macau and also to mainland China as well, which really correspond to the summer abroad theme, which is the location as a textbook. Besides different from just traveling to Hong Kong for a couple of days, we actually stay as a Hong Kong U residents. So we got a chance to meet with the locals, understanding the culture and building meaningful relationship. But this part is really important if you are thinking of working or doing an internship in this city or country. This would definitely be a good opportunity. And I also attend the virtual summer program SLC 393. Originally, I thought it's going to be boring compared to the on-site one, but it actually turns out pretty well. So we had a great group of speakers who are the experts from different fields to share insights. So for example, I remember we have researchers from the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences who walk us through the process of launching social policy in China. And we also got a chance to listen to a lecture regarding to the issue of evolution presented by a professor from Peking University. Since it's online, so it's somehow easier for guest speakers from all over the world to join. They can attend the session easily without concerning about the traveling or location. From my summer abroad experience, I think the two biggest takeaways are, number one, you can add an international education opportunity to your resume, which will benefit both academic and career path. And secondly, you can also have a chance to connect with experts and build the global network. And my summer abroad experience is a highlight of my undergraduate journey. And please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Andrew. Yes. So if you guys have any questions for Andrew, you can put them in the Q&A and we'll ask them to him now. He's definitely a great person to ask questions, having done both of our virtual option and then also in person. And at this point, I'd like to invite Jennifer to take over, and she's going to lead you through the second half of today's presentation.
Thanks, Adam. We'll now move on to highlighting a couple of our programs, and then we'll talk about how to do a summer abroad. So details about eligibility, the application process, and some general information about costs. We thought we would highlight a couple of the summer abroad programs as examples to give you a better idea of what they look like. Each of our programs are very unique, but they all have components of immersive learning, different guest lectures and field trips, as Adam mentioned earlier, that are really tailored to the course content you're learning. So the first program we're spotlighting here is the Italy program. As Adam mentioned, this one's special because we will be celebrating the 50th anniversary of this program in 2022. The Italy program takes place in the late summer in August and runs for 4.5 weeks. Our host institution is the University of Siena, where students will be staying in the residences there in double bedrooms with shared washrooms. So this may be a little bit different to what you may be used to in Toronto, but you'll be getting that chance to experience what it's like being a student in Siena. The Italy program is one of our bigger programs, and it has multiple course offerings. Here you'll see there are 6 different courses to choose from for the Italy program. We have the anthropology course on Italian regional foodways and culture. You can take a criminology course studying current issues in international criminology. You can take a fine art history course about the Renaissance and Baroque art and architecture, or an IRE course on cross-cultural perspectives in leadership. And then we also have a course specifically on modern Italian culture, as well as a psychology course on disability, culture, and inclusion. Again, lots of different courses you can choose from. And there's also opportunities to visit other cities on overnight trip. And there's also events that will be organized, such as orientation events, welcome meals, tutorials to learn the Italian language, as well as optional trips to further explore the local areas while you're abroad. One other exciting event you'll get to attend is the Palio di Siena, which is a famous horse racing event and one of Italy's oldest historical celebrations. And that takes place in Siena twice a year, once in July and once in August. So you'll be able to attend that while you're studying abroad on summer abroad. For this program, there will be summer abroad bursaries available. So that's one example of an on-site program that we're offering. The second program that we'll be spotlighting here is the South Africa program. Now, this one will be a virtual program for 2022. So all activities, lectures, and the group work will take place online. The South Africa program runs for 3 weeks between May and June, and the course is taught by Professor Anne Armstrong, who is a U of T professor at Rotman. Students in this program will be taking a business course on inclusive consulting with microenterprises, and our partner in South Africa is a consulting agency called Reciprocity, and they are based in Cape Town. Adam briefly mentioned it earlier, but what's really unique about this program is that in addition to the online lectures and learning from the experts in the field, you'll also be working in small teams to work with a local micro-entrepreneur located in Cape Town. So you'll get that chance to gain hands-on consulting experience working virtually with someone in Cape Town. You'll get to learn about their business, learn about the challenges they face, and help them identify opportunities to grow their business. And you'll also be guided by Professor Armstrong, as well as the industry leaders and local experts who you'll meet throughout the course. So these are 2 examples of our summer abroad programs. I encourage you to visit our website to read more about these programs and other programs we offer in more detail. So here's a quick snapshot of our website. To learn more about the different programs, you can visit there, click programs at the top, and then browse through the different options we have. So now let's talk about how to do a summer abroad program. I know Adam mentioned about the kind of who can do summer abroad, so we'll just go through that again. To be eligible, you must have a minimum CGPA of 1.75 at the time of the application. Any first-year students who don't have any final grades yet can also apply, but you must have completed a term of study by the time of submitting your application. Students who are in a professional faculty like engineering or architecture can also apply for summer abroad, as well as any graduate students and alumni as well. And then if we have any students joining us from other North American universities, you're also eligible to take a summer abroad course as well. You'll just need to obtain a letter of permission from your home institution and submit that to us as part of your application. Now, the 1.75 CGPA is a minimum requirement. Most of our courses don't have any prerequisites with it, but there are certain courses that will have prerequisites or they have a higher GPA requirement, such as science abroad. So it's best to review this information on our website. And also, any students who are registered with accessibility services will also need to note that on their application and include the name of their advisor. So as an overview of the application process, again, we'll have the updated information about our programs and course outlines posted in mid-December on our website. Online applications will open on January 3rd, and the deadline to submit your application is February 18th. We do assess every application we receive, so it's not first come, first serve. You'll have the opportunity to submit your application right up until the deadline. How we assess applications based on the following criteria here. One is academic suitability. So we look at your transcripts, your CGPA, how the course you're applying for fits with your academic studies. But I think more importantly, the second part here is the personal statement. So we read the personal statements, which consist of 500 words where you write answering a set of questions. And this is important because this is where we learn more about you, why you're interested in applying for the summer abroad program. We always tell students to take your time really writing and editing your statement because it does play an important role in our assessment process. And then some programs may have additional questions as part of the application, in addition to the personal statement. Finally, there's a $200 application fee that's paid online by credit card through our application system. And this fee is refundable if you're not selected for the program. We also get students who take more than one summer abroad program in one summer. If you are interested in applying for more than one program, you'll have to complete a separate application and pay the $200 fee for each. So here's a screenshot of what the application will look like. This example is for the in-person England program. So you'll see it's pretty straightforward where there's different sections to complete the application and then a section where you pay the application fee and then you submit. So after the application deadline, we assess each application and then we will begin sending notifications in early March. Each program has its own timeline of assessment. So different programs will be notified at different times. So if you hear about someone getting their notification about a different summer abroad program and you haven't heard back yet, it's okay, you will hear back eventually. If you are accepted into the program, you'll have 1 week to confirm your participation. And then you do that by paying a non-refundable $1,000 deposit online. This deposit essentially confirms your spot in the course. And it lets us know that you've accepted the offer and you're committed to taking the course. If you're admitted and then you decide that you no longer want to take the course and you decline the offer, what happens is you will not be getting the $200 application fee back. For this, though, we do make exceptions if students applied for a summer abroad bursary and got accepted into the program but did not receive a bursary. In that situation, then you would be eligible to get your $200 application fee back. So after the deposit, the remaining fees for the program are due roughly 4 weeks later. And the due date for the remaining fees will vary depending on the program, but these important dates will all be sent to you when we send out the offer. In terms of costs, the overall costs vary depending on the program you're applying for. And it also depends if it's a virtual program or an in-person program on the site. So you'll see here, the program fees range and also depends on if you're a domestic student or an international student. So for domestic students, virtual programs, they cost roughly $2,000 to $3,000. For international students, it's about $3,000 to $4,000. For on-site programs, the costs are higher because it includes living expenses like accommodations and also for field trip activities that we arrange. So these programs, they range roughly $4,000 to $10,000 for domestic students, about $5,000 to $11,000 for international students. So again, our website will have the updated costs for the 2020 programs in mid-December. So our advice always, when we talk to students about summer abroad and they're thinking about doing it, our advice always is to start budgeting now and plan ahead for the cost. So again, the remaining fees will be due about 4 weeks after making the initial $1,000 deposit. It's important to kind of keep those in mind as you start planning for your summer. Our office also offers bursaries for summer abroad programs, but note that these bursaries are only available for our on-site programs only. The bursaries range from between $2,000 to $4,000, depending on the program. And to apply, it's online through the same application process. So when you're completing your application, there's a part where it will ask if you're interested in applying for a summer abroad bursary. Once you click yes, then it'll open up the bursary application for you to complete and submit. The summer abroad bursaries are available to U of T students who have completed at least 4.0 credits by December of this year, so December 2021. And you must have a CGPA of 2.25 to be eligible. You'll also need to be a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident to be eligible for the bursary as well. So it's important to note, one important thing to note about the bursaries is that they do not cover the entire cost of the program. So you'll need to plan ahead and begin budgeting to cover that difference. Other ways to help finance your summer abroad is to look into other travel awards and bursaries that are available to U of T students. So for example, the Center for International Experience offers their International Experience Awards, which you can apply for. We also encourage students to speak to the registrar's office about possible awards and bursaries that you can apply for. For students on OSAP, summer abroad courses are just like regular U of T courses, and so they are eligible for OSAP, and you would apply for what's called an extension. But something to note that's important is that OSAP funding is typically not released until closer to the start of the course. Payment deadlines, again, for deposits and remaining fees to our office will be due before you would be receiving your OSAP funding. And so these fees cannot be deferred. So again, it's important to start thinking about the budgeting aspect if you're looking to do a summer abroad. Now, for our on-site programs, depending on the destination and your citizenship, you may need to apply for a visa to enter the country of where the program is taking place. So if you do require a visa, we would typically advise you to apply for it after being admitted into the program, and to also apply in Toronto if that's possible, just so that our office can assist in providing the supporting documentation, as well as the offices in Toronto are familiar with our programs because we support students when they need to submit their documentation. So if at all possible, to apply for the visa in Toronto. We also encourage students to research more about the visa requirements in advance so that you're prepared and you know what to expect when that time comes. Because if you don't receive your visa in time, you will not be able to participate in the program and the fees would not be refunded. So it is important to stay on top of arranging your travel documents and making sure that's all in place so that you're able to participate. As we're reemerging into international travel during the pandemic, certain countries may also have COVID-related travel requirements, and that will depend on various factors. So we will be monitoring these requirements and policies that are specific for our summer abroad programs. And we encourage you to also research as well, so you're aware for the destinations you want to go. You can find updates on the Global Affairs Canada website, which we recommend checking periodically since things can change pretty quickly. And that's at international.gc.ca. We're certainly hopeful that we'll be able to offer our programs on site for this coming summer, but we do have policies in place should the program end up getting canceled. So one, we will only send out admission decisions about our on-site programs if the university approves outbound travel. Right now, university is allowing us to go ahead with planning for our on-site programs this coming summer. But if in the future, at that coming closer to the summer session, if a travel ban is reimposed for the summer session, we will be canceling our in-person programs and the $200 application fee will be refunded. Some courses at that point, they may pivot to being offered virtually. If that happens, you'll have that opportunity to consider taking the virtual course instead if the in-person course is no longer running. If the university initially allows for travel and then we admit students into the program, but then afterwards the program gets canceled, then any fees that are paid to the summer abroad office will be refunded. And so in this particular case, we do recommend you making flexible travel arrangements for any expenses that are not paid directly to us. So for example, your flight bookings. So here's a quick snapshot and a timeline of our summer abroad process. Again, in mid-December, that's when we're aiming to post all of our details about our programs, course, and costs for summer 2022. January is when we open the applications on January 3rd. We're also going to be hosting some program-specific information sessions throughout January and February. During the winter break, you can research more about our programs and kind of narrow down some of the places you'd like to go, some of the programs you'd like to apply for, and then look out for the information session dates so you can attend those program-specific sessions. And then in February, that's when we close our applications and we'll be assessing the applications that we receive. Around March time is when we send out our admission notification, and then you have 1 week after getting your notification to pay the $1,000 deposit. And then between April and May, so about 4 weeks after paying the deposit is when the remaining fees are due. We'll be hosting pre-departure orientation sessions for our programs just before they begin. And then between May and August is when our summer abroad programs happen. I also want to highlight after this webinar session, we'll be hosting an informal chat on Zoom where you can drop in and ask any questions you have about summer abroad to our ambassadors and past participants. The Zoom details are listed here, and Adam, I think, will be posting the Zoom link in the chat. So for now, you'll have to wait until we formally end this session before the drop-in session begins. Save the link and give us a few moments to set that up right after this presentation. And finally here, there are many ways to get more information about summer abroad, and the QR code there on the right will lead you to a page with all the links you need. So you can visit our website to read more about the details, which will be the details for 2022 will be posted in mid-December. Again, look out for the virtual program information sessions that we'll be hosting in January and February. You can follow us on social media at U of T Abroad, or also subscribe to our monthly e-newsletter, The Summary, where we share stories and articles from students who've participated, as well as faculty who are involved in summer abroad. And that's where we'll also share important dates that are coming up. If you have specific questions about a particular program, you can book a virtual appointment to meet with a summer abroad advisor. Also on our website, you can get started with the application by creating a summer abroad account. And then finally, there's our email and our phone number if you'd like to contact us that way. Finally, just before we end, I wanted to also share a link. I believe Adam's going to share a link to a survey. We would really appreciate your feedback on this information session. The link is there if you can take a couple minutes afterwards to complete the form. We always try to find ways to improve these sessions and how we deliver this content. So we would appreciate getting your thoughts and feedback on how we did today and about our information sessions. This brings us to the end of our formal presentation. I'm just going to invite Adam back, and then we'll take a look and see if we have any Q&A questions we can answer together.
Yeah, so Jennifer, we do have one question here. Speaking about if due to COVID, the in-person program is canceled and we move it to a virtual program, if somebody wants to back out of doing the virtual program, would they have their fees refunded, including the $1,000 deposit?
Yes, they would. So students who are admitted into the in-person, they're not necessarily have to take the virtual. It is an option that will be offered to you if that's the case. But if it's the case you decide that you don't want to participate in summer abroad after it gets canceled due to COVID, then we will refund all of the fees that were paid to our summer abroad office.
Great. And actually behind the scenes throughout the presentation, colleague Selena, another program coordinator at Summer Abroad, has been doing an awesome job answering a lot of questions that people have posed to us. So thank you very much, Selena. Here's another one. Are summer abroad programs extremely competitive? i.e., is it hard to get accepted into a program that you want? They answered essentially as it depends on the program. Some programs are a bit more competitive than others, only in the sense that we get a lot of applications for it. If your CGPA is at least 1.75, you should still apply because we really look at the whole picture. So we look at your personal statement, we look at your overall transcript, get a good sense of who you are and why you want to take the course. So it depends on which program. Essentially, there's also no harm in applying because if you were not selected for the program, you would have your application fee refunded. I think if you wanted to know more specifically, if there's a program that you're really dying to know more about, you can contact the program advisor or book an appointment with one of us and we can talk more about that in person. And then, Andrew, we have a question for you. Somebody would like to know where you lived during your time when you did the Hong Kong program. And you mentioned that you met and interacted with locals. In what context did you do this?
I was living as a Hong Kong University resident with all of my U of T RSM 295 classmates. And I think it's just like a two-bedroom, two people share a room, and there will be a washroom and showering area. People are sharing it. And in terms of interacting with the locals, so our professors invited a couple of his students and who were currently working in Hong Kong at that time, and just to give us some industry insight. And we also had a Q&A session with them, so we can also to connect them on LinkedIn or have their email to keep the connection going on if we want ever launch an internship in there. Another question is, how do I prepare prepare my finance for my summer abroad at Hong Kong. I think because I'm an international student, so I'm now available for the bursaries, but I know my friends who are a PR or Canadian citizens, they all apply for the summer abroad bursaries, or I think there's another, like a scholarship from Woolworths College. So I would strongly encourage you to apply for those. Yeah.
I think those are all the questions we received. If there are any other questions, please do join the drop-in ambassador session that's happening right after this webinar. Again, just wait till we end the webinar so we can formally start that session going on. And then, of course, you can email us, book a virtual appointment with an advisor to answer any of your other questions. At this point, just want to say thank you on behalf of the Summer Abroad Office for joining us today. Wish you a really good day.
Thank you, everyone.